Good morning, students. This is Dr. Deb Watry. I'd like to give a few announcements for our last week of week 7. So just get started and we'll get you all the information hopefully you need. Certainly our weeks have gone by very quickly, and I've been very impressed with your work and your diligence. And I'd like to congratulate you because this has really been a class of a lot of writing and getting prepared. Chapters 1, 2, and 3 are through. A number of you are getting notified that your IRBs have been accepted or need a few tweaking things. So we're into our last week. So what we have going for this week is hopefully for you to finish up and be very active in our last week of discussion. So I'm looking forward to reading your responses and being involved in that discussion. You have one, I think, relatively easy reflective essay, but it deals with Chapter 4 reading and also with PowerPoint on validity. So you have 2 questions that you basically answer in that assignment, and the assignments that I've read so far have been done very nicely. So check out your boy text, Chapter 4, and the PowerPoint on validity to be able to do a good job with that assignment. We are in the revision process for writing our paper. So again, I ask you to find an editor, whether it's a high school English teacher or somebody you know who's done some previous APA writing. It's very important that you do follow the APA format. It's an important piece of research writing. So if you do get an editor, give them a gift card, flowers, something that you appreciate the time they've taken to read through your paper and make the edits. I've tried to provide information as I've read your draft of things to move to APA, proper citation. If you've emailed me with questions, definitely I've tried to follow up with that and provide you guidance. I think there were 7 of you that sent me your first chapter that I did edit for you. So follow my comments and again seek that APA editor. I will be posting 2 different types of checklist. One for having the correct items, but also I'm going to be posting a APA format checklist for you. So look for those. They'll be in the week 7 additional resources for you, or I think I'll send them to you in an email. But just to reiterate again, everything gets finished in past tense. Chapters 1, 2, 3, and actually even 4 are all past tense. The citation, where I've listed sources in your draft, that means you have to put a citation in there. And I've talked about that in announcements and also with emails. And there is no first person. The university requires that you write the researcher. You don't talk about me or mine or our or we. It's always in the third person. Check out the template. It was posted in the week 2 course, but it's also again posted in week 7, that you follow the template that the university has set up. Every chapter is a new page break. Okay, so you want to make sure your sections are paged right. So when you're finished with chapter 1 and maybe it's only 1 paragraph on that page, you do a page break to get you into chapter 2, and also a page break for your references. So each chapter gets a page break. We've talked a lot about page numbers. I've sent you notes, email notices. They've been in announcements. Again, APA style for the title page. I'll talk about that in just a second. Table of contents now, you want to make sure that that matches up. It's APA format, so take a look at that chapter. Page numbers, there's no page number on chapter 1. Table of contents, and if you put in an abstract or acknowledgement, anything before chapter 1 is in Roman numerals, small letters. Roman numeral 1, I, Roman numeral 2, 2, so small letters for table of contents and anything between. First chapter now becomes your page 1. Okay, first chapter and following all the way through the appendices are numbered as page 1 starting on chapter 1. Appendices, they just follow the regular number. There's no special numbering for that. So if your paper ends on your reference page ends on page 28, your first appendix would be page 29. So do follow that. I think I've covered enough about page numbers, but check APA page numbers if you're not sure, and they will give you guidance. Title page, we talked about putting that running head. First page on that title page at the top, it'll say running head, and that's in regular letters, nothing all caps, a colon, and then the whole title, the running head, is always all capitalized. So APA format, please take a look at the course template. That will help you in formatting yours. Several times now I've given information about reference page and citations. Everything must match in your paper, and that's something that I will check very carefully. Any citation you make in your paper must be listed as a reference in your reference page. Anything that you put in your reference page must be used as a citation within your research. There are a number of you that still do not have complete references, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't say a number. There are a few of you. So I've always put that in my notes. If you have taken a journal article, you must list the DOI or the website that that journal article was taken from. So you can't just end with the page number of the journal article. You need to make sure you have a complete reference. So IRB approvals are coming in. Do check your emails. They're basically asking for tweaking your permission letters or answering a question a little bit more in detail, and you've done a nice job for those of you that have brought your IRB through. So you want to make sure that. And the last thing, you are ready once your IRB is approved. Remember, you can't start research until your IRB is approved. A number of you have asked, can I do a check on my survey, have someone take it and see what the responses are? And you most definitely can do that before your research starts. But you can't use any of that data in your research. But it's a way for you to see, are your research questions clear? Are you getting somewhat of the answers that you expect to get, or do you have to rework any of your survey questions? So your research process for Chapter 4, that collection of data, you want to make sure that you keep as good of records as you can. Take a lot of notes, a lot of reflections, put dates with everything. Don't rely on your memory. If you're observing someone as part of your data, write notes as you are writing, but also then a reflection afterwards. Again, I said put dates on everything. It is okay for, if you're doing a one-to-one interview, it is appropriate if you'd like to record it so that you can get direct quotes, which would be very important for Chapter 4. So you can tape record those notes, and if they're transcribed or after you're done with that, the tape recording is destroyed type of thing. And again, you assured the IRB committee and in your Chapter 3 that you were going to keep that data secure. So that is your responsibility, that you keep your data secure, locked up as you indicated, or in a secured password. So again, take very careful notes, but it's an exciting time, and take lots of notes, because you can't go back. You can't go back a month or two later and say, oh, now what did I intend for that note to be? So again, write in-depth notes. So again, I'm glad that we've traveled this journey together. I've been very impressed with your work and your diligence, and I appreciate that. And again, I'll send the end of the note at the end of the week, because we're all finished. Chapters 1, 2, and 3, just be very, very careful. That due date is this coming Friday. So that we don't miss out on it. You don't get the weekend to work on it. That you are following, that's when the course ends, and that's when your Chapters 1, 2, and 3 will be due. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to email me. I'm checking that I do check it daily to try to get back to you and answer your questions. So have a great week, and I look forward to reading your nice polished Chapters 1, 2, and 3. And I forgot to mention, everything that you've done now for your IRB approval should come in your appendix, your IRB approved letter, your permission letters, your surveys, and they're all separate pages in your appendix, and that appendix gets labeled A, B, C, D. So even though the student survey or the student questionnaire, when you meet with them one-on-one, might be only 3 questions, that is one separate page. You don't lump them together. So let me know if you have questions. I hope you have a great week getting your chapters 1, 2, and 3 polished and ready to go.